Hi, so in this video I'm going to try and explain to you slope-intercept form in a way that I hope is helpful. So basically, here's slope-intercept form. Well, it's basically written right here. Y equals mx plus b. So m represents the slope of the line, and b, well, let me write this out. Slope, okay. B is called the y-intercept. That's a really long word, and I'm using a mouse. So I'm just going to write y-int. Just remember that stands for intercept, not integer or intelligent or interactive. Okay, so basically what you're trying to find is, first let's try to find the slope. So the slope basically means how much does y change compared to how much x changes over time. Since this is a constant line, if you choose any 2 points, then like let's take this one and this one, then the amount y changes compared to the amount x changes will be the same as any other 2 points. If I take these 2 points, the amount y changes compared to the amount x changes is the same. So even though these are way bigger lines, compared to each other, it's the same ratio as these 2 points, or if I did these 2 points. Ooh, sorry for these weird sound effects I'm making. So yeah, any 2 points, they have the same ratio for how much the x changes compared to how much the y changes. So that's what the slope is. It's like how much this triangle means change basically. How much does y change compared to how much did x changes? And that's what your slope is. So for these 2 points, since we can use any 2 points to find this, they gave us 2 points. Why don't we just use those points? Good idea. Okay, so basically let's look at these. What is the change in y? Well, remember, coordinates come in the form x comma y. So you have to just make sure you're going in the same direction for both of them. So I'm going to go from here to here, how does x change, and from here to here to how does y change, right? You can't do like, how does, yeah, I'll explain what I mean in a second. But basically, let's see here. The slope would be from 8 to 4, that's going to be negative 4. And from negative 1 to 2, that moves 3. So that's your slope is negative 4/3. You could also go the other way. If I'm going, just a minute, I could say, how much does y change from here to here? Oh, y goes up 4, and 2, the x goes from 2 to negative 1, it goes down 3. So you get, oh, this was a negative 4, sorry. So see, this one is negative 4/3. Oh, I just accidentally deleted the negative before, but I did write it before. And this is a 4 over negative thirds. They're equal. So no matter how you calculate it, it's going to be the same. The thing you can't do is you can't say, okay, how much does y change from 8 to 4, and how much does x change from 2 to negative 1? That's not allowed because you're going from, the y's are going from the first point to the second, and the x's are going from the second point to the first. That will give you an opposite slope. So just make sure when you're calculating a slope, you're just consistent which one you're subtracting from the other one. But yeah, so either way, the y for every time, so basically what this means is every time x goes up 3, then y is going to go up negative 4. And so we can see that in our graph. See, if x moves over 3, 1, 2, 3, y is going to move down negative 4. And that's basically no matter where you go. 1, 2, 3, negative 4. And like I was showing you before, if I go, say I only go over 1.5, then it's going to go down negative 2. 1, 2. And you see it. That's another point on the line there, because the ratio for how much x changes compared to how much y changes is going to be the same no matter what 2 points you choose. So I hope I'm not just like giving you too much information and confusing you. All you basically need to know is to find the slope. You do the change in y over the change in x. Now you got to figure out the x-intercept. So to find the x-intercept, I mean the y-intercept, sorry, y-intercept. This is, oops, I'm in eraser mode. Oh no, everything's erased. So this basically means it's going to cross this, whenever it crosses this axis, the y-axis, that means x has to equal 0. Because if x equals 6, for example, it's not going to be on that y-axis. If x is -4, it's not on the y-axis. Only when x is 0 is it going to cross the y-axis. So I know this. Y equals mx plus b. I know one thing. It's true. I know what m is now. We figured out it's -4/3. So, and I also know, so I know y equals -4/3 x plus b. Now I also got to figure out, if I could figure out what y and x are, I could solve for b. Well, here's the thing. I know a couple points, of a couple coordinates where the equation is true with this solution. So here's what I mean by that is like any point on this line I can plug in for x and y, and I can use it to solve for b. So I'll just use this first one. When y is 8, 8 equals this function of x. Whenever I do -4/3 x plus b, and if x is -1, I'm going to get 8 for y. That's basically what it means to have this this coordinate point. Means whenever you plug in -1 for x, you're going to get 8 for y. So I'm going to plug in -1 for x, and I know that it will give me 8, and I just have to figure out what b has to be for that to be true. So I do some algebra. 8 equals, and this is a multiplication, times -1. So that's just going to be -4/3 plus b. Oh no, it's +4/3 now because that was a -1. So then I subtract, what would this be, 6 2/3? So, okay, so 6 2/3 equals b. Cool. So now I figured out m, which is the part that gets multiplied by x, the slope, and -4/3 plus b, which is 6 2/3. So that's the same as 20/3. In case you don't know, to go from a mixed number to a fraction, just you keep the same denominator. And then to find the numerator, you multiply the big number in front times the denominator. 6 times 3 is 18. And then you add the numerator. And that gets you 20/3. So there we go. I got 20/3, -4/3. Now just to check my work, I'm going to say, to check what I got the y-intercept right, I'm going to say if x is 0, oops, I don't know why I just drew that random line. I got to see, if x is 0, is y going to be, where's this random box from? Okay, is y going to equal 20/3? And if I look at, well, or 6 2/3, and if I look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it looks like that's about right. So that just kind of tells me, okay, good, I did everything right, I hope. Now I check my answer. Alright. Cool. So that's that. So I'll just do another one real quick to give you an example. I mean, just so you have another example. So remember, first we find our slope. So it's a change in y. This triangle means change over change in x. So how much does y change? Y goes from 6 to 2, so that's -4. And x goes from -6 to -4, so that's +2. So our slope is -2. This mouse is getting weird again. I changed the batteries, but I don't know about it. It's just a weird mouse. And then I'm going to cheat. Look, if I look at this, I know that if x is 0, then y is going to be -6, because that's where so that's what I'm going to put in here. And I'm going to check that really fast. So will the point -6 work here with this as my formula? So it's -2 times -6 plus -6 equal to 6. -2 times -6 is 12 minus 6, and that equals 6. Hooray! So my equation is right. So now we can do this just how we did the other ones, except they don't graph it for us. We just gotta choose 2 points. So I'm gonna choose these two. What is up with this random box? I'm going to choose these 2 points because they look friendly. The numbers are small and there's a 0 and a 1, makes everything easier all the time. So to find my slope, I'm going to do how much does y change. I'm going to start with the top one and go to the bottom one. So y goes down 1 and x goes up 1. So my slope is -1. Hooray! And now if I look at my intercept, I can choose any. I can't look at my graph this time, so I'm going to do it the way I did before. So I can just choose any point to plug in here. I'm going to choose a simple one. I'll choose this one because x is pretty small in here. So y is 12 here. 12 equals -3 times -1, so 3 plus b. So now I know that b is 9. Cool. So I hope this was helpful for you. That's the end of my video about, I don't remember what it's called, slope-intercept form. That's what it's called. So I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have questions still. The end.